Can you hear it with your ears? Can you see it with your eyes? Can you feel it wiggling between your quivering thighs? That thing with James. Once every millennium something will come along. When you feel it you will know it, 'cause it's coming on strong. That thing with James. Sit back, relax, deep breaths, no stress. Let me come inside your mind. I promise you it won't take long, the change will happen soon. You will feel something so special growing deep within you. That thing with James. That thing with James. That's me. Hi, hello, how are ya? Welcome, one and all, to Welcome to episode 61? I think it's episode 61. Welcome to episode 61, I'm pretty sure, of That Thing with James J. Asher II. I'm your host, James J. Asher II. All right. Here we go. So, let's see. It's been like a month in quarantine now. I think it's been a month. Time is just sort of weird now, and nobody knows what day it is. It's like everyone's on unemployment, even those who are still employed. It's just weird, wacky times, and everyone is just kind of lonely. Many people I talk to are having trouble focusing on things, doing things that they normally do in their lives. For example, me would be my own best example. I like to write, but I've been finding it difficult to even write in my journal. It's just, I can't seem to focus. I don't know where my focus went, but I just cannot seem to focus. And it seems like a lot of people I talk to are experiencing the same problems. So, what do we do? We take to dating apps, those who are single. A lot of people are on dating apps right now, reaching out and just kind of making new friends and everything. And another thing that a lot of people are experiencing is horniness. A lot of people are very horny right now. Yours truly included. I'm more horny than usual, and I didn't even know that was possible. Like, this one apparently goes up to 11. And I'm normally maybe at a 10. Nope. I go up to 11 now. And I haven't written any love ballads called Lick My Love Pump yet, though. For those of you who don't know what the fuck I'm talking about with the 11 and Lick My Love Pump, there's a great mockumentary film called This Is Spinal Tap. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. It's made by Christopher Guest, a genius who also created Along Came a Mighty Wind. My second favorite of his is, of course, Waiting for Guffman. It's about a community theater. And there's this line, I'm going to go home and bite my pillow. It's very funny stuff, people. Check it out. Christopher Guest. Regardless. All right, where was I going with this? Horniness. Yes. I'm very, very horny right now and very frustrated because I'm making new connections with new people, but I don't really have the opportunity to meet up with them in person, which is frustrating in its own right, even if it's just a new platonic friend. Add on top of that, extreme horniness. And I know I'm not the only one who's feeling extra horny, because go back a few episodes of this show and you'll see I had a whole episode called Real Horny Hours. Did I not? Did I not? I think I did. Have an episode called Real Horny Hours. Actually, I know for a matter of fact, I did have an episode called Real Horny Hours. Man. See, I'm having trouble focusing right now. I'm trying to get along here. I'm trying to do some kind of intro for what I want to talk about today. And you know what? Just fuck it. Fuck the intro. I'm just going to go ahead and introduce what I want to talk about today. And that is quarantine food lewds. Quarantine food lewds. Yes, you heard that right. Quarantine, as in what we are. Food, as in the thing you eat. Lewd, Lewd, not Lude. I'm not talking about Quaaludes. Never had a chance to try them. But no, I'm talking about lewds, as in lewd behavior or lewd pictures. See, I heard about this from a friend. Well, she had been talking about it, and I was just playing a video game, and it's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't really care right now. It's going on about these food lewds, going on about food lewds. And then finally I asked, what the fuck is food? What are these food lewds? What is this? And she explained to me, well, it's a group on Facebook and people, it's a private group that you have to join, and people will post lewd pictures or videos of themselves. However, they will utilize food and food things in a way so as to not violate the, I guess, nudity, sexuality terms of Facebook. So you can't show nipple. You can't even show areola. You certainly can't show genitals, and you can't show the act of someone giving or receiving, even upon their own person, sexual acts. No getting off, no cum shots. Like, you know, they could just show a picture of like a banana or something, and if someone's jacking off camera, they could jizz onto the banana, and the only thing that would be in like the camera frame is the banana and the jizz splats. That's not allowed on Facebook. It's allowed on Twitter. Twitter allows lewd stuff, but not Facebook. They don't play around with that shit unless there's a loophole. Although these aren't really loopholes, they're just bending the rules. The images there are, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. My friend told me about quarantine food lewds, and she said it's just these crazy people posting all these crazy pictures with food. And I'm like, what? You got to communicate better. Crazy people. What does that mean? How are they crazy? What are they doing that's crazy? And how the fuck does it involve food? She said, all right, these people are like getting naked, but covering their genitalia with food stuff. And I was like, oh, you mean like that scene in Austin Powers? Like, especially like at the end when they're on their honeymoon, they keep just barely covering any kind of female breast because the male breast is okay, which is a fucking stupid double standard in my book. But they cover female breast and male and female and they genitalia, and that's it. And I was like, you got to show me a picture of this. So she shows me a picture in this group of quarantine food lewds. And this picture is of a bald, he's got the Captain Jean-Luc Picard bald thing going on, you know, like the olive leaf Greek crown of hair. And he's doing like a shoulder stand, almost like plow pose in yoga. So he's got his ass curled up in the air, his legs kind of curled in the air above his head, just kind of on his shoulders, leaned over with the genitalia area kind of leaning down toward his head. And he was kind of craning his neck so that his head was reaching up closer to his genitalia. But you couldn't see his genitalia. His testicles were covered by his two fists, and his penis was covered by, well, I guess he must have had the thing like tucked or covered in his hands too, but hanging down as if it were his penis was a raw hot dog. And this picture was of a bald, middle-aged man trying to suck his own hot dog. And I said, I need in. Wait a second. Are you a member of this group? Because she already told me it was a private group. And she said, no, they just keep popping up on my Facebook wall. And I was like, well, if it's a private group and it keeps popping up on your wall, then you have to be a member. And she said, no, I'm not a member. I've checked. I don't know why, but I can see the pictures. They just always pop up in my feed. And I was like, how'd you hear about it? And she said, well, this coworker was telling me about it, and he's been trying to get me to join because I think he wants to fuck me. And he's been wanting me to look at his food lewds to see him like scantily or not clad at all. And I was like, okay. And so you accepted the invitation? And she said, no. It still says awaiting confirmation of joining the group. So she hasn't joined the group, supposedly. I haven't gotten onto her Facebook account and checked myself. I suspect maybe somehow she may have joined the group, because I couldn't look into the group when I started searching for it on my own Facebook account. I'd search it and I'd find it, but it was just the landing page saying yo, this is a private group for consenting adults. This is a safe zone, no sexually heckling people or anything like that. It's just people in quarantine having fun with the circumstances they have been given and sharing it with other people in the group. And so, I answered a few questions that they had because I wanted in. I wanted to see what Quarantine Food Lewds was about. So I applied, and then I had to wait a couple days until I got a response from one of the administrators. And I'll tell you what that response was right after I take this break. And I'm back. I got a response from the administrator saying that I had made it into Quarantine Food Lewds, and I was excited. This must have been maybe Tuesday of this past week. Tuesday. And I had just finished work. I finished work pretty early, noon, Monday through Friday. And I jumped straight into Quarantine Food Lewds, and I looked, and I found a place, I found a thing that I didn't even know I had been missing in my life. Let me take slow steps here so I don't get ahead of myself, as I tend to do. On the feed of this private group, there were pictures of people of many different shapes, sizes, colors, and ages. Although a majority of the people active in the group, or the people posting pictures, seem to be around my age group, millennials, somewhere in that whole generation spectrum. And there's a lot of sexy people on there. And when I say there's a lot of sexy people on there, I mean just that. There's a lot of sexy people on there. And I have a specific type that I find sexy. My type is sexy people. They don't have to be any particular age. They don't have to be any particular shape. They don't have to be any particular color. If someone is beautiful, then they are beautiful. There are even people that I might not find attractive necessarily, but nonetheless see beauty in their images that they're showing on this active page, Quarantine Food Lewds. And I hope I'm not like giving this shit away and blowing it up. I'm talking about this because it's something I actually enjoy. This is bringing me joy that I had been missing since the quarantine started, and honestly, kind of since before the quarantine started. There's all sorts of people just being so expressive. They're just revealing their bodies, and it's, so many different people that one might assume like that person might generally feel ashamed of their body because maybe they don't have a conventionally Hollywood attractive body, Maybe they're a bit bigger. Maybe they've got like vitiligo or something. Something that is not your standard run-of-the-mill cookie cutter metric for what Hollywood or New York City runway might consider beautiful. These are truly pure, natural beauties in the group. It's everyone showing themselves off, just being comfortable and open and sharing their bodies, their truth, their nature, their nude bodies. And not just that, but what they do with the food is so fucking creative. One thing that comes to my mind was this one guy, I think he's a puppeteer. He made this 30-second video that blew my fucking mind. This guy must be in his 50s, maybe. And he was in his kitchen, and he had a bunch of looked like puppets that he had made. Well, they were puppets, but they looked like ones he'd made because he clearly was a puppeteer and clearly had some talent in doing it. I think that's probably his day job, is making puppets and doing puppeteering, which is fucking cool. But he had a bunch of slices of pizza. And he wasn't wearing anything except for one slice of pizza over his genitals, like a loincloth, with like a string tied around it, G-string style, or actually loincloth style, just like a belt of string, and hanging from it a single slice of pizza covering his meat and potatoes, his meat and 2 veg. Okay. It didn't stop there. It was a wide shot. He was in the center of the frame. It was a wide shot of his entire kitchen, entire half of his kitchen. And he had strings tied to his feet and strings tied to his hands. And I'm guessing that, off screen, just above the frame, above the top of the frame, he must have had some kind of pulley system or something rigged up, because these strings that were attached to his various phalanges, they went up and then they came back down. And on the other end of that string were more slices of pizza. There was like half a dozen slices of pizza hanging around, and he was singing a song like, "Would you like a slice of pizza? Would you like a slice of pizza? Would you like a slice of pizza?" And he had this little dance that he was doing as if he were a marionette, but he was kind of like a marionette and the puppet master at the same time, because the slices of pizza, when he would move his feet or his hands, the slices of pizza would go up and come back down and go up and come back down. So the pizza was dancing with this guy wearing a pizza slice loincloth, who was singing this terrible song about, do you want a slice of pizza? And then there are other people, like there's this gorgeous young French woman who posts more sexy stuff. Like she's into the rope bondage thing. And like there's there's some Japanese word for rope art, but it's like artistic rope bondage. But, you know, she'll like bind her legs up or something, or make like a harness of the ropes with the knots and everything. And she had some like little cock and ball shaped gummy candies, just one on each nipple, and then a little pile of them over her loving mound between the legs. And so there's stuff like that. Some of them are silly, some of them are very sexy. Some of them are silly and sexy, and some are just downright fucking creative. And it brings me so much joy to see real people sharing their bodies. And not only that, getting to be creative with one of the most essential things to a human being, and that is food and drink. Covering their genitals with a bottle of Dr. Pepper or something. I'm not sponsored by Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper, if you want to sponsor me, give me lots of money, okay? And it brings me a lot of joy because people are being open. And I wonder, had quarantine not been in place right now, would all of these people be sharing their bodies quite so freely? I had another conversation with another friend recently, and I was telling her about quarantine food lewds, and I shared a couple pictures that I made to try to help describe what's going on in this group. And I will describe those pictures to you shortly after this. And she loved it. And she's been sharing with me videos that she's been making on TikTok. She just got on TikTok and was a little embarrassed about it. But now it's just like a TikTok and machine. She's just, she found an outlet and is getting creative with it. And she's been sharing that stuff with me too. So we were just kind of like in a sharing mode. And that's why I brought up quarantine food lewds, because had she not already been sharing with me, I don't think I would have been like, you know, here's me like almost naked or something. But we were talking about how did I say it? I think I said something like, it's amazing how now that we're all isolated from each other, mandatorily isolated from each other, it seems like everyone is okay with sharing what a freak they really are. And she agreed. She said, yeah, it totally is like that. It do be like that. It do be like that. People don't think it be like it is, but it do. Everyone's a freak. Everyone's a kinky, weird, messy freak. And I like that. And I am diametrically opposed to any type of status quo traditional system that says your body is sinful, your body is unclean, your body is ugly. I'm diametrically opposed to puritanical rule, right-wing puritanical shit. Anyway, I told you I'd describe these pictures. So I mostly have had fun with bananas. I took one picture where I was just wearing my jeans and I stuck the banana through the fly of my jeans and I made a face like I was about to come. And I I had the camera kind of down low so it's looking up at me and the banana is in the fore and I'm like ripping the base of it. Take a picture that way. And I posted it and I got all sorts of great responses. People thought it was funny as fuck. A lot of people, mostly men, thought it was sexy as fuck. And that beautiful French girl liked it a lot too. She loved it actually. And then after that, I took a mango picture. I'm not going to say what I did with the mango, but let's say the only thing I was wearing was a mango. And then I finally had the mango one didn't take off quite as much as the first banana one, but the follow-up banana picture that I took fucking blew up. Well, relative for me. There are like the French girls got like 400 responses or reactions or whatever. Thumbs up, heart emojis, whatever. The second one, I thought, what's a good follow-up for the first banana one? And it hit me. Smash the banana. Yeah. Now, what would I do with the banana? Would I just like make it a video? Would I play some music and maybe like get some scissors or a really sharp knife and just chop the head off? Or that was actually my second idea for the second picture. The first idea is what I ended up going with. There's a Zen saying, because there's so many sayings in Zen Buddhism, first thought, best thought. So I stuck with first thought. And my first thought was, all right, I can get the banana, I can stick the banana through my fly like it was before, but smash the motherfucker. And then have a hammer in the picture. And Emily was home, so I got her to help. I was like, okay, I need you to hold the hammer like you had just hit, like it's not on the banana, but you're holding it like you're about to hit the banana. And I'm going to have the banana through, and it's smashed real good. And then I'm going to write the text to go with the image saying, she said she wanted to smash. And I have a pained expression on my face in the picture. And so I did that, and I posted it, and it blew up relative for things that blow up for me. And I'm getting to have a creative outlet, and it's nice to get response and like affirmative responses from people about your nude body. And that's part of the beautiful thing about the group is that, you know, everyone is very supportive. Even if, you know, say you're obese and you post a picture, people aren't going to tell you lose weight or any shit like that. People are on there saying like, this is fucking great. What you're doing here is genius. Go you, that kind of thing. Everyone is being, you know, supportive and not patronizing, genuinely supportive of everyone else for participating in this experiment. And I think the world would be a lot better place if more people shared their food lewds. I'm going to expand upon that thought after this short break. I'm back again. Now, let me say this. There's a pretty common thing you might hear for if you're feeling nervous when you have to do public speaking, and that is, imagine the audience is in their underwear. That supposedly is supposed to help the nervous, soon-to-be speaking speaker get over their nerves, because I guess it kind of takes the audience, the thing that is scaring them, down off their pedestal. It knocks them down like beneath them. It kind of, I guess, implies that, oh, they are exposed, meaning, oh, they don't really have anything over me because their bodies aren't covered. and my body is covered. That never worked for me for helping me cope with nerves. And I really don't like the implication behind the idea that just because those people may be almost nude, that it means that they should be beneath you, less threatening somehow, less powerful. They have less, to suggest that they have less power because of their bodies, their exposed bodies. It doesn't jive with me, man. I don't dig it. I don't dig that. And it never helped me. What helped me was the exact opposite. Picturing myself in my underpants. Actually, I took it a step further. Picturing myself naked. Everyone else, they are as they are. But if I imagine myself before walking out onto a stage that I'm not wearing anything, that I'm completely exposed, nude, and vulnerable, for some reason, that helps me cope with public speaking anxiety, performance anxiety. I'm hesitant to say performance anxiety because that's often attributed toward some type of erectile dysfunction. But I'm talking about actually like performing on stage, be it public speaking or doing a play or playing music. And what helps me calm my nerves is picturing myself naked. And that's interesting. I wonder why. I certainly feel comfortable nude. I feel more comfortable nude. I mean that in a physical sense. I love fashion. I love the clothes I wear. I love the styles, the shapes, the outline, all that stuff, the textures, the colors, the way it lays and the way it flows. I appreciate wardrobe, but at the same time, I also really like being naked. I was naked before I started recording this, but since I record this on video, audio listeners, check out the video sometime if you want. But since I recorded on video, I put on some clothing. If it were socially acceptable in these United States of America to be totally nude, and if it wasn't considered like pornography somehow, if it wasn't, it's nothing sexual. I'm not performing any sexual acts or anything suggestive or lewd per se. But if I were just naked, that would be okay with me. As a matter of fact, I'd be even more comfortable than I am right now. And I'm pretty comfortable. I'm wearing some joggers for my pants and this nice like rayon button-up short sleeve shirt that I fucking love. It's like marble and flowers. It's like flowers in a marble design. I like it. I got it at Nordstrom Rack. Shout out Nordstrom Rack. I'm not sponsored by you, but if you do want to sponsor me, pay me a lot of money. Give me the money. But yeah, I generally just feel more comfortable nude because part of my anxiety thing is feeling trapped or feeling restrained. Now, yoga has actually helped me so much with that, yoga and meditation, because you assume a position that is kind of unusual. Your body's not usually in that certain position, and you hold it for a while and you breathe through it because your body, you might feel constrained, you might feel trapped and uncomfortable. And that's the whole point, because at first your body's going to want to freak out and you won't like it, but just keep breathing. And if you can get yourself to relax when in a uncomfortable, restrained position, if you can relax in that situation, then you can relax in less physically, literally constraining situations. You know what I mean? Catch my drift? You get used to heavy, stressful situations, then non-stressful situations are even less of a stress. That's the idea anyway. There's a lot of people who get stressed out by non-stressful situations, but they also get stressed out by stressful situations. Whatever. That's a different conversation. I don't need to go down that path. what I want to talk about is just how natural and good it is to be naked. I know I feel good when I'm naked. If I could, I would be recording this naked. I mean, I've recorded on here with like an open shirt, with no shirt on, and I felt very comfortable. I'm not, thank God, I'm not ashamed of my body. And I'm ashamed of any type of culture that shames people about their bodies. I am ashamed to be, well, I'm not necessarily ashamed. I'm ashamed of the fact that it's upheld, and I'm ashamed of the idea that the people actually buy into the idea that nudity is dirty, lewd, and impure. We're born fucking naked. It's our bodies. It's natural to be naked. And I think it's good to be naked. I think if more people spent more time naked in like a good situation, not a non-exploitative situation, I feel they would be a little bit less stressed out, just a little tiny bit. Get used to being naked in a space, hanging out. I don't wear clothes when I sleep because I feel too constricted. I don't like when people like tuck you in real tight in a bed. Oh, fuck, no. No. I do not like that because I want to be able to stretch and move around. So I like unless it's really fucking cold, I like a very light, just a sheet on me, loose, maybe some limbs sticking out, maybe even my head sticking out so I can breathe in the fresh, cool air. Wow, that was a bad inhale. My nose, dude. It's fucking Allergy City, Austin, Texas. This is. Yeah, the United States is so averse to nudity and sexuality altogether. And the thing I love about Quarantine Food Lewds is that it is the opposite. It is the antithesis of that puritanical, rooted culture of being ashamed and shunning nudity and sexuality. We live in a very repressive culture in the United States. I mean, I think this place was found by, settled, I guess, by the first peoples, of course, and then taken over, stolen by pilgrims who were Puritans. I mean, they were so fucking like weirdo repressive that the English kicked them out. They didn't just leave England and like go across an entire fucking ocean to some unquote unquote settled land that none of their relatives had really ever been to. No, they were fucking kicked out because they're like, the people in England were like, yo, you guys are so fucking uptight. It's like, I mean, yeah, my stepmom is uptight or my mother-in-law is uptight, but you guys, you fucking make her look like a wild libertine woman. You guys are so fucking uptight. You're ruining the party for everybody else. So you got to go because you already don't like life here, and we're not going to do anything to make it any easier for you because what you want is fucking unnatural and extreme. And so what do these Puritans do? They come to North America and land on Plymouth Rock, and then land that rock on anyone who wasn't them. And they started their new colony, their new society, founded on the ideas of puritanicalism, of just really conservative, neurotic, repressive traditions. I think it's extreme. It's unnatural to say that being nude, being in your natural state is unnatural, unclean, unholy, a sin. I think it is extreme to say that any like sexuality, having a sex drive Being open about that sex drive, to say that that's a bad thing, I think is bad. I think it's extreme to shun and shame people for their sexuality. We all have sex drives. And I mean, that could be it's kind of a different episode, but I will say, I think it comes down to sex. I mean, aside from the first, rung on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the first rule, shelter, food, that sort of thing. Once you have that stuff, once you have a place to live and you feel secure, then it's all sex, 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 sex. Because we're all products of sex. And not everybody feels a sex drive. There are asexual people, there are gray sexual people, but aside from groups like that have zero sex drive, they tend to be in the vast minority. A lot of people have a sex drive. And maybe a lot of people have a sex drive, but it gets all fucked up because they've got all these traumas that they dealt with from growing up in a kind of puritanical family with guardians or parents who also grew up in a fucked up, repressive situation. I think a lot of the problems in this world stem back toward repression. The idea of sinning outside of, fucking other people over, outside of exploiting people, outside of hurting people or denying them a chance to succeed. Outside of that, I don't really see what the problem is. Don't exploit people. Don't be a dick. Give everyone a chance. Actually believe in merit. I think those are good things. But beyond that, if you want to take drugs, why not? If you want to have sex with a person who has the same kind of genitalia as you, why not? It's not hurting anybody. And the idea that it might be hurting the morals of a neighborhood or something, like a gay couple. Oh, there goes the neighborhood. A couple gays moved in. And, that's not what this neighborhood's about. This neighborhood's about a man and a woman getting married and falling in love and following our rules. And they have sex with the sheet between them, with the hole cut in it, and they only have sex once every 3 weeks on this certain day for purely procreation reasons. There so much of us and so much of the repression in so many different cultures around the world, and there's so much repression around the world. There's oppression and repression. I'm talking specifically about repression. There's so much of it around the world, and I think it's caused so many people so many fucking needless neuroses and hang-ups that they act out. They don't deal with their sex drive. They don't deal with their emotions, what they really want. They don't deal with these things. And just, it's an emotion and it's an idea. It's a reality that might seem uncomfortable or feel uncomfortable to them because it's different than their current status quo. It's a bad feeling, and you can't just stuff bad feelings down and pretend, oh, I'm over it. You can't just try to put it away and forget about it and keep going. That shit doesn't go away. I mean, at some point, you are going to have to learn how to manage trauma and neurosis. Excuse me. You're going to have to learn how to manage and function with the emotions you experience, but in order to truly manage them, you must first acknowledge them, bring them to light, examine them, get to understand them as much as possible, and keep getting to understand them. It's self-knowledge and self-honesty. You have to be honest with yourself before you're ever going to be able to truly be honest with anybody else. Much like you can't really, truly love anyone else until you first love yourself. I love myself a lot. I'm talking about masturbating. And I love a lot of people. I got a lot of love to give. Okay. Well, why did I say that? So much repression causes so many fucking problems. People just going to a fucking drive-through and screaming at you. That person's upset because they didn't tweak their clit in the morning when they really wanted to. But oh no, I got to go do things. And yeah, repression causes fucking wars. It causes everyone a bad fucking time. It gets ugly when you push stuff and try to forget something big to you, something that hurts, something that feels uncomfortable. It hurts and feels uncomfortable because it's important. It hurts and feels uncomfortable and keeps popping up in your mind because it is screaming, begging for you to fucking face it and deal with it and understand it and forgive yourself and understand that it's okay to have emotions and stuff like that. It's okay to have a sex drive. It's okay to be naked. And so be naked. Do that. That's your assignment until next week for the next episode. Be more naked. And deal with stuff. Deal with the repression in your life. And maybe get creative with some foodstuffs. Get more open and honest and expressive and natural with the people in your life, those close to you, your loved ones. Get more honest and open. And if they don't like it, if they try to shame you, I'm not going to say don't take it personally, because I tell myself that and I still will take something personally. But instead do this. Keep in mind that that person is repressed. And when they are shaming you for your body, when they are shaming you for your sexuality, it's not that they're really shaming you. It's just the shame they had been told at some point in their lives. And they are just repeating the shame that they hold toward themselves. And they think they're putting that shame on you. They think they're putting that judgment on you. But really, they're just repeating the thing that some poor, repressed, unfortunate person did and said to them that hurt their feelings some time ago in their past. I think that's all for today. That's all, folks. If you aren't already, but if you are able to do so, I encourage you please to donate at my Patreon, patreon.com/thatthingwithjames. You can donate as little as $1 a month, and you will get access, once you become a donor, to my bi-weekly very short stories. They're good. They're many different genres, and I'm a good writer, so you'll enjoy it. I guarantee it. thatthingwithjames@gmail.com is my email. I meant to say patreon.com/thatthingwithjames if you want to become a donor and help support the show, show your appreciation. If you have a story you'd like to share or a subject you'd like me to cover, or if you are in search of advice, I'd be happy to give you advice on air. You can send me an email at thatthingwithjames@gmail.com. And if you don't want to do that, you can slide into my DMs. I'm active on Twitter and Instagram. My handle is @JamesJAsher. Audio listeners, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the show, rate and review. For the YouTubers, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Like the videos you like, smash that subscribe button, and make sure the bell is on so you get notifications for when I upload new videos. And for all of you, please share the show with your friends and share your body. with everybody. Expose yourself to strangers who are likewise exposing themselves, and I guarantee you're going to have a good time. Be more naked this week. I love you. You're beautiful the way you are. Bye-bye.